in 2010 because she worked as a professional architect before she discovered what Oriflame is really about. And when she did that, of course, she joined Oriflame full-time, and she's now a senior diamond director. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Gaby Molina from Mexico!
Good morning, everyone. I'm really happy to be here again to share with you what we do back in my hometown, Tijuana. We create a daily recruitment habit, prospecting and recruiting. Because if you want to keep growing as a leader, if you want to reach higher titles, you need to keep recruiting. And that way you set the example for the people who are joining your networks. This is an image of a waterfall. Water is one of the strongest forces in nature. But if it's not well channeled, it can give results that are not what you want. The same happens with the energy of the people who join the networks. Many people have great energy, they are passionate, they want to do things, but if you do not channel that energy correctly, teaching them, training them how to do it, they will not get to the levels they want, they will feel frustrated, and then they might get out of Oriflame, which is not what we want with people. Yesterday I told you about how, after my first national convention, I managed to develop 4 titles in about 14 months and even open the diamond qualification. But because of the lack of training and following a system, all of my directors started falling apart. But thankfully we learned about Sarpio, the use of the tools, and developed a system. And after developing the system, teaching the system to my leaders, right now I'm qualifying for the double diamond title in about a year's time. So it does work. If you follow a system, it does work. What we learned was the Sarpio, the one that Oriflame teaches us. They trained us with the Sarpio system, we followed it, we made it our own, which is very important because every country, every city, every culture has different ways of working or different attitudes towards what they need to do every day. So you have to make it your own, and that's what we did. Sarpio means sales and recruitment process in Oriflame. And it mainly constitutes of 3 things. Prospecting as a daily habit, the Oriflame opportunity meeting, which is for recruiting, and the follow-up. And the follow-up is to turn that recruiting into sponsorship. Because one thing is to recruit, the other thing is to sponsor. What we need to do is really to sponsor people. And we have 3 ways of prospecting, the way I understand it. We have the hot prospecting, which is the close friends, the family members. It's the circle of people that know you from when you were in grade school, maybe high school, that have an emotional connection with you, your friends, your family. And we usually tell people to go out to prospect their hot prospecting circle. And it's good because they trust those people. It's easy to get to them. But many times, as it turns out, the hot prospecting circle is not the one from where you leaders really come out from. And that can be hard because if a close friend or a family member says no, that hurts. And if we are not there to support them, they will decide it's hard. If someone they trust says no, maybe nobody will say yes. To me, it was surprising to find out, here today we have one of Julie Guzman's very close friends, Graciela Sarabia. She's a national director now, but she told us the story that she did not believe that Julie was earning so much money. That it took her 2 years to see that it was real. Only when Julie became a president director, Graciela decided to listen, and she's a very close friend of her. So that is what happens with the hot prospecting. In my own manager circle, I only have 2 close people from that list, and that is my mother and my mother-in-law. But it took me 3.5 years to get them to that point. Even my husband, he decided to start working just only 4 months ago with Oriflame. So you have to give them time. Eventually, they might turn around and say yes, but you have to be very careful because this is the prospecting circle that hurts people when close friends or family members say no. This is my favorite circle to prospect, the warm prospecting circle. In Mexico, you can make a wedding out of 500 people you know. That includes the warm, everybody you know you want to invite to the wedding. That's part of the warm prospecting circle. But you also have your neighbors. You also have places you will go to, like to do your hair or your nails. You have your church. You have associations, clubs, the mothers of the school your kids attend to. Those people know you and trust you, and that is the key. This business is based on trust. And people who know you, maybe because they're your neighbors, know that you might take well care of your lawn, that you walk your dog every day. If it's the mother of other kids, your kids' friends, they might know you as a good mother. If you go to church, the church members might see you as a trustworthy person. And this is a great circle, because if people say no, it doesn't really hurt. It just, okay, this person doesn't want to do it right now, next. And it's really infinite, because everybody you meet, you can get up to being someone they trust you. And to me, this is the most important aspect, getting people to trust you. The third circle is a cold prospecting circle. This one you can do at employment fairs, at sporting events, at expos, at prospecting campaigns, Oriflame launches, beauty pageants. You can sponsor beauty pageants. And here, the thing is that people do not know you. These are strangers on the street. So you take their phone numbers, if they give it to you, they give the email, you give them a catalog, you show them something they might get interested about Oriflame. And then you might call them. Many times this doesn't work. Many times people that you don't know really hear this opportunity and think it is too good to be true, because it sounds so amazing. You tell them about the trips to South Africa or to Dubai, and they're like, no, you cannot do that, even if you show them pictures. So the key here is to take this cold prospecting group to move up to warm prospecting. Before you make them your consultants, you have to gain their trust. Before prospecting, you have to turn them to a warm prospecting circle, where they see that what you are talking about is real. And here in this circle come the referrals, come the friends you have on Facebook. Because a referral is someone who has a common link to you. Like my dad has a friend, and he might not be someone I really know, but because my dad is recommending him, and I'm my father's daughter, this friend of my father might listen to me. So referrals are really great because there's something in common with a person, so that generates trust. Now, what do you do with all the people you prospect? Of course, you have to take them to an Oriflame meeting. And here we also have a 3-level system. The one, okay, there's the slide missing, but I'm going to explain it to you. The one-on-one meeting, which is the first kind of meeting, is where you present, just one person presents the opportunity to another person, or 2 or 3. The most important aspect of the one-on-one meeting is that you always follow the flip chart, the PowerPoint presentation, your iPad app, and it has always to be the same. I'm sure all of you can do that presentation by heart. You don't even have to look at it. You can recite it if you will. But if a new person sees you doing that, they will think it's too hard for them, that you might be a genius because you have it all memorized. So with a flip chart, they can see that you have even a crib sheet on the back, that you are following notes, so they get the idea that it's something they can do. So if you conduct a one-on-one meeting, a level 1 meeting, it has always got to be with a flip chart, with the iPad app, or with your PowerPoint presentation, but it has to be the same. And it can be done in restaurants, at houses, anywhere. It's a mobile presentation. It doesn't have to be fixed. Then we have the level 2 meetings. With the level 2 meetings, we have the manager, 12% or more, with the core team. What is the most important thing about these meetings is to have the testimonials. People have different stories, and it's important to help them have a very interesting testimonial. The other day we had this meeting with a lady, she was 70 years old in the audience. All the ones that were giving the presentation were under 40. Even though I would not call myself a youngster, she thought so, because I'm 40. She was like, well, this is not for me because I do not know how to use a computer. Everybody who was presenting was very young. If the lady that's part of my core team, that's 75 years old, had gotten there in time, probably this other lady would have decided to sign up because she could have seen that it was possible for her to do the same thing. So the most important part about the level 2 meetings is to have different testimonials so people can identify with them. Okay? And these meetings, we conduct them anywhere. They are not fixed in a place. You can have them at people's homes, at restaurants, at anywhere that you can invite people. And about the core team. Oriflame always tells about the core team, how important it is. The thing is that you have to decide how you can apply the core team to the way you work. Where I live, my city is 2 million inhabitants. And it's big. You take an hour to go from side to side without traffic. And it's not the largest city in Mexico. That would be Mexico City, and that can take you about 3 hours to go from north to south. It does not compare with a city in Sweden with 20,000 people. So, for the core team, usually have maybe 2 or 3 core teams. 2 or 3 teams of people who want to grow, because what happens if I have a leader or a person who wants to grow in the north of the city and the one other in the south or in the east? It's hard to join them. It's hard to make them work together because of the distance. So what we do is maybe support one core team here with a manager and another core team there with a manager. So you have to divide your time. Now, we have the level 3 meetings. These are very, very, very important to have set at exact dates and times every time. What we do, we have an SPO. And that SPO works as a business center more than an SPO. Of course, we get the boxes and we give the boxes to the people. But what the main thing about this is we get together, all the directors get together at this point, the ones that live in our city, of course. But I have 2 directors living in other cities who have opened their own business centers working with like an SPO. Here, we have fixed meetings every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. Tuesday and Thursdays, 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Saturdays, 10 a.m. I conduct all the meetings in the morning. Some other directors conduct the meetings in the afternoon. And anybody in our network, any consultant, anybody can go to those meetings. They know there will be a meeting. Right now, in Mexico it's Tuesday, so they were having a meeting without me being there. It works like clockwork. Every single time there's a meeting, and people then trust the system because it's consistent. If you have a meeting one day it's Wednesday and the next week it'll be on Monday, people do not know where to go to. If you have a place for people to go to, if you have a time set for people to go to, it'll be consistent. And consistency is the key to growing. And the level 3 meetings are not only Oriflame opportunity meetings, which we host 5 times a week. We also have the catalog launches every Saturday after the catalog closing. At 10 a.m. sharp, we have our catalog launching. I was flying to London this last Saturday because I was coming here, but all my managers and directors got together to do the catalog launching without me being present, which is the idea of this business. And we also have the training. We have trainings fixed every Wednesday in the middle of the catalog. Every second week in the middle of the catalog, we have Step 1 or Step 2, 9 a.m., 6 p.m., so people who work or don't work can attend the training. And we also have online meetings with Julie Guzman's web conference room, because I come from Julie's line. We have meetings for training or for catalog launching or with some company 3 times a week. And with my upline director, who is Maribel Romero, we also have meetings another 3 times a week. So we are continually doing meetings for training, catalog launching new products. And so we have had really great results. So what do we do after the meeting? Always, it's the closing. So who wants to look great? Who wants to earn money? Who wants to have fun? And at the closing, we always ask what people want to do. Do you want to earn money or do you want to do the products? Because many people join just because of the products. And some people decide to move on directly to the business, but that's not the most part. So what we do, we actually do not encourage direct selling. What we encourage is buy the products for yourselves or develop your multi-level marketing business. That's what we encourage in Mexico, because if you do direct selling, you will not earn a lot of money. It's not that much what you can earn. But if you do the multi-level marketing, then you can. So we divide like the two groups for the getting started. And with the getting started, of course, you have your current catalog, you have your contract, your contact list, your skincare guide and testers, and the welcome program. And here, for the people who say that it sounds really great, but they want to try it, what we have, especially at our office, but all of my managers have the same kit. We have all the day creams, all the cleansers, all the toners, all the makeup with the different tones. We have lipsticks, we have things for people to try. So if they have time, we ask them to remove their makeup, to do their skin cleansing, to apply the cream, and then do their own makeup. To this day, nobody who has tried the products has refused to sign up. Everybody who has put on their makeup in our office has signed up and become a consultant. So if they decide they want to try the products, what we have to do is get them to be really good buyers. So you say you want to try them? Good. Let's have your 100 VPs ready. And we don't even go to the contact list because they're not interested yet. They just want to try it. The other group is the ones who decide they want to do the business. With this group, of course, we do the skin testing. But the main thing about the business-oriented is the contact list. Many people hesitate. Many people say, I don't want to do it right now. Let me take it home. I know that if they do not do it at that moment, they will not do it at home. And I read a book about network marketing that's called The First Year in Network Marketing by Randy Gage from another company. It's a really great book. And in that book, I read that when people are over 30, most of us, if we're over 30, know about 2,000 people. If we really set our minds to it, in a week, we could write down 30 names, 2,000 names of people we know. So we help people get their 30 contacts and decide who and when to take to the next meeting, which is probably going to take place 2 days after that meeting. What happens after the meeting? We have to do follow-up. Many times we are sleeping with the enemy at home. So we go back home and the husband or the mother or the best friend say, what are you gonna get yourself into this time? You're gonna waste money. You're gonna do something that doesn't work. People, close people, many times they take us down. So if you are not there to call them, to reassure them that they're really making the right decision, then they will probably say, no thank you, this is not for me. And that happened to a cousin of mine. She said, I'm ready to jump out on the first plane and go visit you in Tijuana because she lives 3,000 kilometers away. 3 days later, I called and she was like, well, no, I don't think so. I was like, who did you talk to? And she said, I talked to my mom. She discouraged me. So it's very important to be with the new consultant, the new recruit, immediately, 1 day, 2 days after this first meeting, and to see what people thought about Oriflame, to see what they are thinking about doing. At that second visit, the follow-up, you need to set a date for placing the order, preferably 1 week before closing. And you need to see if the credit papers are all doing fine, so she is ready to send the order when it's done. Then when the date is set for placing the order, you call them and you teach them how to place the order. If you don't teach them, and if you do it for them, then you will have to do it the next time. Because you will have no time to teach them because you have new recruits. So you have to take the time, 1 hour, 2 hours, to teach them how to place the order, to make them feel it's easy, it's simple. And if they do not know how to use a computer, which might be with people over 70 or something like that, you can tell them it's like ordering pizza. You can have a phone and you call Oriflame to place your order. So it's very important, this part. Now, the follow-up visit number 2. On this visit, the package has already arrived, maybe to an SPO, maybe to their house. You need to be there when the package is opened. Really. Because if there's something that's spilled or something missing, You need to be there to reassure them that Oriflame always fixes the problem, always. So you need to help them with the invoice, to be able to read it, to see if everything came as it was supposed to come. And on this visit, you teach them how to pay the bank, if that's the case. Follow visit number 3. On this visit, your new consultant usually has been using the products now, has delivered if she has been selling. So you need to know if the product is what they expected. Many times people buy something that doesn't work for them. It doesn't mean it's not good, it just means it's not what they should have picked. And it happened to me about 2 months ago. Did you like the eyeliner? No, not really. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Well, which one did you pick? Oh, the cold one. Oh, okay, I like the one that goes up. You might try that one. And then she did try the one I recommended, and she loved it. But if I had not been there for her when she was complaining about a product, then she might not have placed a next order. So this visit number 3 is very important, because here you see how people are reacting to the product and to the sale process if they are selling, and even saying if they are ready to go to the next meeting with someone they have been invited. What is the sponsor role? The sponsor role, the word sponsor in Spanish comes from parenting. It means patrocinar. And I like that meaning because it really is something like parenting. What do you do with your children? You guide them, you teach them. You do not want to spoon feed them when they are 20. You want them to be independent. You want them to live on their own, to be successful on their own. You do not have to be for your children all the time. That's exactly the same thing we need to do with our people. We need to teach them, we need to guide them. And what starts as a work relation based on trust, it is based on trust because you do not sign a contract where you tell them you will earn $1,000 a month starting today. They trust you to guide them to get to those $1,000 maybe in 3 or 4 catalogs. They're trusting you. So your goal is to guide them through that process to get to that first goal. It usually ends up as a personal relationship, full of support, teamwork, and always as a win-win situation, where your success depends completely on the success of your downline. This is a picture of our SPO. We have all the checks hanging on the wall. This is a picture taken 6 months ago. We have more checks that we have not hung up yet, and more checks coming. So when all the managers with their team, with the core team get together, they can say, that's my name right there. This is real. And when they see all the checks hanging, they know it's just not Gaby having success. That everybody on that wall is finding freedom, is finding abundance, is really going towards their dream. So when so many checks are hanging, people know they can be there next as well. And this is a picture I really, really love because it's a picture of all of my directors today, except for my mother who's in the middle on top and my mother-in-law who's in the bottom. Down, they are halfway to their title. With them, I get to the double diamond title. And here, I'd like to talk to you and tell you a story about 2 of my directors. The one that's far upper left corner here and right corner here, Maya. Her dream was to have food in the fridge for her children. She was in a very, very difficult situation. She had lost everything through a business gone bad, and she had 3 young kids. And the husband was not producing money. So when she told me that, I said, we weren't gonna work for you to have that and more. Today, Maya not only has food in the fridge for her kids, she even has them enrolled in private schools. So that is a really great. Laura, here the one far away and here the one close here. She comes from a very small town in Mexico. For us, a small town is 20,000 people. I know in some places that's a city, but in Mexico we have very big cities, so to me she comes from a very small town, which is 1 hour away from the closest airport. She started in Oriflame and she was really in a situation that was difficult as well. She had a very big dream. She wants to build her house. But when I went to visit her, because I said, if you get to manager, So senior manager, I will come to visit. It's a long trip, it's about 8-hour trip with a flight and everything. It's very far away from where I live. But I went, and I went to her house. She said, you cannot come with me in my house because I have no room for you. It's a very small house. The floors are made out of cement. She has no window panes on her windows, it's just a hole. She had no fridge. She had a very old stove. And it's a very hot weather place. So no fridge in a hot weather. I was like, why don't you have a fridge? Well, I can't afford one yet. About 3 months later, she had bought a new fridge. She had an iPad she wanted to Oriflame. She had a laptop computer, a PC computer, a smartphone, and a fridge. And even a computer. Her dream is to build her house. That dream is 4 years from now, because she promised her daughter that when she turned 15, because we celebrated 15, and the quinceañera in Mexico, that's 15 years old, that she would have her own room to decorate. So we are working hard for her to reach that goal. And when that time comes, I will make sure that I help her as an architect to build her house. Today, the economical spillover effect in my whole network is about $130,000 a month. That's something I would have never ever done as an architect, ever. Because in order for me to have that effect on people working for me as an architect, I would need to have about 15 construction jobs all the time. And we all know construction is nothing really stable. You can earn a lot of money 1 year and nothing the next. So to me, this is amazing because you get to reach a lot of people. And that is what our motto is, your success, our mission. Thank you very much.
Time for 1 or 2 questions to Gabriela. Do you have any questions for her? Any questions that you want to ask now? Or is you doing the coffee break? We have a question down there. Can we give the gentleman a mic?
I am James from East Africa, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Congratulations. That was a very, very amazing presentation.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering, could we have that presentation, like in our slide?
Yes, of course.
Oh yeah, okay. Thanks very much.
The question was, can we have the presentation? And the answer was yes.
Yes.
The answer was yes. Okay, let's move over to the next session then. Thank you very much, Gabriela.
Thank you very much.